Hi everyone. I wanted to create a short video and talk to you about ArcGIS Pro. Um, we are going to use ArcGIS Pro quite a bit, and there's a few reasons that we will. First off, in April I traveled to a conference that was an Esri users conference, and I actually met the founder and owner of Esri. And that's besides the point, but I listened to him speak, and he talked about the development of ArcMap and ArcScene over the years. And then he said, we have finally reached a point where we're going to stop developing ArcMap, and we're going to put all of our resources into developing ArcGIS Pro. And then he went on to talk about what ArcGIS Pro is and how it can work and a lot of the benefits of it. Maybe you've seen it as you've logged into computers that have desktop. It's included in the desktop package. And additionally, as each of you were added to our online organization, you were given access to an ArcGIS Pro license, meaning that you can download this onto your computer and simply by, and if you can follow my cursor, signing in, you'll have full access to the software from a computer that's your personal computer, as long as you're part of the Snow College ArcGIS Online organization. So that's a benefit, I think, for everyone enrolled in the class. The next thing I wanted to point out about Pro, and I don't know if each of you felt this way. When I first learned ArcMap, I just would bang my head against the wall, and it was a class that was a surveying class, and so we didn't do ArcMap consistently, and whenever we'd open up the software, I just thought it was full of little tricks and tips that were hard to follow. I think you'll find ArcGIS Pro to be much more user-friendly. I just wanted to show it to you briefly what it looks like. So as you open up the software, this is the page that you'll see. There's kind of this several buttons here of recent projects, and I'll tell you also that ArcGIS Pro, when you start it's based in a project, and so when I come over here to new project and start a blank project, I can give that project a name and also choose a location for it. So for example, let me just choose this as Geo 1820 Pro Start. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it. I'm just going to have it create itself inside of my ArcGIS folder. And I click OK. And it starts a project. Now, there's a lot of things that I really like about this. If I come into my folder here and I find exactly where we were just at, so ArcGIS, projects, and we called this Geo 1800 Pro Start. There's a few things that are created with that. First off, a toolbox. Oh, oops. A toolbox, a project file, which just helps itself navigate within here, and a geodatabase. In terms of file structure, I would encourage you to organize all of your files within the project folder that's created when you start a new project. And so inside of this project folder, I would create the following. And I'm going to start a new folder, and this folder is going to be called raster. This folder will be called shapefile. And then I'm going to create a folder called workspace. Your workspace folder is mostly just to hold stuff that you won't need eventually, stuff you want to end up throwing away, that you don't want to take up a lot of space on your computer with. And then I would keep everything just locked in to this project folder. Okay, and so everything about this project is tied into this folder. It makes it very easy to navigate in your catalog. And let me add one more folder, I'm sorry. And this would be a PDF folder, or a place to output exported items, okay, from this project. So exported maps, you might say. And I'm just going to close this out. I'll mostly be working with my folder structure from my catalog pane rather than from other places. And here we are in ArcGIS Pro. Now as you look around, it looks a lot like other Microsoft software. It looks a lot like Word or Excel. It has tabs across the top. They call each of these a tab with a corresponding ribbon. Okay, they'll call that the ribbon. Each of these panels, they call them panes. Okay, so this is your catalog pane, like a window pane, kind of, if you want to think about it in that same light. And you can come into this home tab, or excuse me, insert tab. You can start a new map. Okay, and as I click the drop down, I can do a map or a scene. I can import a map, which means you can import stuff from ArcMap, okay, old maps that you've made before. And then here from the project side, it's similar to what you see in Word and some of those others. You can save things, open things, get into the options, okay, and we'll be talking more about this later on in the course. But as you look at this, there's something I really want to highlight, or want you to know, and that is everything inside of Pro, it's not anything different. There's not like tools that have never been used before, or like never been seen before in ArcMap. It's pretty much the same stuff, and you can work with it the same way. You just have to be able to find it, and that's the tricky part, is finding your way around ArcGIS Pro. So don't panic that we're starting something new. I think by the end of the semester you will much rather open ArcGIS Pro than you will ArcMap. It'll be such a better environment to work from. Okay. One last thing to talk about before I end this short video. As you create a new map, okay, and this will populate my main screen here in the middle, and is also added to my project. Okay, as you create a new map, it automatically opens with a default base map. This is something that's different than ArcMap. And as you bring in data into this map, that map will adopt the projection and coordinate system of the first piece of data that you enter. Okay, which is important to know. Now, what is a map? We haven't really worked with something called, per se, maps before in ArcMap. We've had layouts and we've had the data view where we worked with one map. This, when we say a map, it's kind of like a data frame. Okay, it's kind of like a data frame. So when you added a new data frame in ArcMap, it's like adding a new map in ArcGIS Pro. Okay, very similar. Inside of a layout, when you start a new layout, you can add multiple maps. Just like you added different data frames to a layout, you can have different maps be a part of that layout. So one could be your inset map and one kind of your main map view. There's different ways to change symbology, and I like how this software explains it. And without going much further, I'm going to post a training to our class that's produced by Esri called Getting Started with ArcGIS Pro. Using the credentials from our organization that you now have, okay, to ArcGIS Online, you can sign in to this class and complete this small course. It's going to take several hours, and so it's going to take a few days per se of our class is going through and completing this online training. In the end, there will be some certificates that are produced that you'll turn in showing that you completed the course. So without further ado, I'll end this video and post the link that you can follow on Canvas to sign in and work through this ArcGIS Pro introductory training.